in different formats from a ton of people. I'm going to answer it from my perspective, but this is genderless. It could go for whoever you're seeing. Is how to know when a guy isn't the one, right? And I get asked this a lot of, I think from my dating series, I guess, and being single for so long. How do you know when people just aren't the one, aren't the person for you, but maybe you really like them or you enjoy spending time with them, or you're afraid of being alone, right? So ways that you can tell that a guy isn't the one for you is, do they make you feel good about you and what you do every day when you see them? When you see them, do you feel uplifted and happy and more encouraged about what you're doing in your life? Or do you kind of feel put down, or like you have to make yourself smaller so that they feel better, so that they're nicer to you? It's a really big one. I think that a person that can't make you feel really good and positive about what you're doing in your life is not the one for you. And that's true of any gender. You want somebody that lifts you up and inspires you to be even better, right? And another thing that I have noticed is people that don't readily express their emotions, when it's pulling it out, right? I think for most of us, a guy is not the one for you when they cannot express how they feel about you, what they would like the relationship to go to, or how serious they are about you, or if they love you, or if they just want to be friends, or any of that whole wide spectrum. If they can't express their feelings, long term, it's very hard to make a relationship work with someone that is not dynamic and fluent in the language of emotions, right? Because that is really fundamental to a long-term relationship. And I think that should be one of your mandatory things on your list, is finding people that are highly fluent in their own emotional language. And they might have to explain to you what their emotional language is, how that works, right? So that you can be fluent in their language too, and they can learn yours. But they have to be able to speak it and understand it, and have a complex understanding of their emotions, right? Because a lot of people just aren't mature enough, or they're too afraid to go there. And that makes for a lot of the bad long-term relationships I've seen. One or both of them just cannot be open about their emotions. They can't figure out how to express them. It is too foreign of a concept. So those are really big ones. There's wonderful ways to see that people are for you and are the right romantic partner. And even if things don't work out long-term, it's lovely to be with partners that make you feel loved and appreciated, and that are open and good with their emotions. So those are two. Good job. He's refilling his water bottle. So those are really important aspects, I think, to knowing if a guy is the one, right? Or if a woman is the one. If somebody is for you truly in the long term. Another thing is, do they wait for your cues, right? Are they on the same life path as you? I've had relationships that just didn't work because we were at very, very, don't spill that, my love, different points in our life. And kind of where we wanted to go. Were we on the same page? Did we listen to each other's life cues? Because generally, thank you, love, generally we make it really clear where we are in our life, right? Like, it's probably not that much of a mystery, but that can be a big relationship killer. And you can waste years being with somebody and then build up to resentment if you both didn't listen to where the other one wanted to go, what your goals were, and if you aren't listening to those important cues, right? Those life direction cues. And that, I've seen a lot of resentment from different people, and I've had those issues too, where you just aren't listening to what is clearly there on the page. And that's really important. So that's a good way to know, like, is this gonna work out? You kind of gotta be on the same page. And that can change, and you could change together, but more frequently than not, you both know kind of what direction you're trying to go in and where you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, right? And if that's not the same place, it's really hard to build the foundation to a long-term commitment for that, right? It's really hard. And I think relationships are tricky and difficult and beautiful, and love in all its different forms it's the best thing going, right? It is so wonderful to have loving relationships in our lives with everyone around us. And it's so rare that we spend the time and put the effort in to ourselves, and then expect the effort from others as well, to demand that respect and that effort, to be clear on our emotions and where we're at and what we need and what similarities and differences there are, to be honest about that, because it's so easy to be blinded and to just kind of stay the course of, least resistance, but it's not necessarily what brings us to a course that's going to make us the happiest, right? And that's what the question's really about, I think. The person that sent this in is really asking, is this person going to make me happy? Not like, oh, should I just toss people aside if they don't meet my checklist? Because sometimes the most beautiful people come into our lives that don't meet anything on our checklist, but are there for a reason. And that's not always romantic love, right? You can take a lot of these statements that I just made about romantic partners and apply them to really a lot of different types of friendships. Because, friends that don't make you feel better about yourself and that don't uplift you and that aren't emotionally fluent and that aren't on a similar life course as you, it's hard to have those people in your life in any intimate, close setting, whether it's family or friends or romantic partner. So it's really that universal thing. I think what they were asking is, is this guy going to make me happy? And how do I know that? And boy, isn't that the billion-dollar question of what makes you happy? And, you have to be fluent enough in your love language to know what will make you happy. Because otherwise, you can't decide if that guy is right for you or not. I hope this helped. I hope this answered your question. And that, give it a thumbs up if you love these topics. I enjoy talking about romance and dating and our love lives in more maybe than just the romance department. Because it's something that I think we can all identify with. And it's something I certainly spend time talking with to friends and family and thinking about. Not just for myself, but, hearing their stories. I love hearing stories from people about what has their romantic past been and how is it influencing where they're at in their life in all different areas that they would never expect. I'll see you in the next video. As always, you can go check out all my awesome homeware that I have in my shop. It's linked down below in the description box. I do teas and pillows and mugs and all sorts of fun things. So I will see you all around. And thank you so much for being on here and helping our channel grow.